Hello, this is Noreen from Joy Cards and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, please like and subscribe, hit that little bell, and you'll be notified when my videos release. So now let's go make a card. Hello everybody! Today we're doing paper pumpkin alternatives, and I just got my March 2022 Beyond the Horizon paper pumpkin kit, even though it's April. Anyway, if you have a subscription, what you should have gotten also is an email from Paper Pumpkin with some downloads that you can do the cases. The best way to keep these stamp kits is in these storage boxes, which Stampin' Up! Sells. And I'll go ahead and put a link in the description of my video with these cases. So you take the printout and you can put it in your case, and then you can put your stamp set in here and anything extra that you have from the kit, and it will have like what's on the back. And these are really nice. I have a bunch of ones from previous months just like this that I do sell, so if you're interested, go ahead and email me, and my email is in the description of my video as well. Also, this stamp set, or this kit, comes with 2 stamp sets, and it's going to be this one here and this one. Now when I get my stamp sets, and here are the stamp sets for this kit, what I do is I take all my stamps off and I put them correct so I can see everything, and I mount them on the basic white paper. I also take the little glue dots and mount them on. These are great glue dots. They are way better than these things here because they're not as thick and they're super strong. I can totally put on those butterfly brass embellishments on with these, and they're awesome, nice and flat. These are great, and these come in with the kit. This also comes with some dimensionals here. Now I do want to show you everything that comes with it, but I also want to tell you that I have an issue with my paper pumpkin stuff getting all over my desk. So what I'm going to try to do is contain everything. So I took this just box, and you can just go in your collection of boxes and you can pull out all your like die cuts and kind of keep them organized. You can see everything. I can move this to a table, or do it while I'm watching TV, but this comes with a whole bunch of die cuts. So we've got this one here and this blue one, and there's some green and orange ones. Here's another one. Here's some sentiment tags here, and some larger tag die cuts here and here. And then they come with looks like some foliage and some leaves, and 2 sizes of mountains, and looks like they're in blue and green, so I'm assuming you layer those, and some yellow branches and this cool circle thing. So I've got them all contained in here, and then I also keep the negatives. So everything you punched out, I've kept all these things because there's some cool designs. Like you could totally sponge this one for sure with all the foliage and the mountains, and the circle is great. And just keep these because you can use that for sponging. So I'm containing them in here so they don't get lost at my table, and the desk monster comes and eats it and puts it in front of you just to mess with you, and you don't find it for a half an hour. So I kept those contained like that. I'm also kind of containing my card bases. So here's the 3 card bases that come with the kit. I'm containing them here so they don't get lost. And then here's the envelopes, and the envelopes are really pretty. So I'm going to contain them just in this place here. So everything has a place. And then I've got my little Misty Moonlight Stampin' Spot. And these are great to keep for forever. Use them with your Stamparatus. It's awesome. And you can buy uninked ones too. I'll put that in the link in my video description too. You can get uninked ones and put whatever ink you want in there. And then here's my dimensionals and my things. So everything's kind of contained so I don't kind of lose it. I also, because I took my stamps off, I go ahead and mount all the stamps on the block. So everything's got a block. And I'm a demonstrator, even though I only do about 4 card classes a year. I usually do it around celebrations so people get, some free stuff. But, you know, in the meantime, I use this when I'm, you know, testing a new stamp set, and I put everything on block. So everything's on a block. And every time you place an order, throw a block on an order. They're like $3 or $4. So every time you do, you know, you'll eventually accumulate enough so you can just mount everything. So now I'm going to make their cards, and their cards are these right here, and they have all the instructions, of course. And of course, as you know, you get a free stamp set, because that's why there are 2 of these PDFs to print. There are 2 of them. And don't forget these cases. Like I said, I'll link them in the description so you can mount them, and they're just easily stored like this. So let me go ahead and make their cards, and then I'll make my alternatives after that. I'll be right back. So I'm back. Here are the 3 cards that they have you made. And they're okay. I'm not a big layerer, and I've been trying to get better at that. It's just kind of not how my brain works. So you can go to like layering templates online and try to, or sketches they call them, and kind of get into the habit of layering. So, I mean, and the instructions are pretty clear. Do follow them in order. So when they show the 3 different pieces that you're going to go on, that's the order they go on. So this one goes first, second, and third. So they are telling you how they layer out. And what's funny is I thought I didn't have my ribbon, so I just went and grabbed some of this shimmer ribbon that I had, and then I found it. So it was just on the side, but that's funny. And then these crystals, they're kind of hard to see where they go on the card. You could put them anywhere you want. So, and I do recommend, since these are the clear stamps, that you use a Stampin' Pad, of course. And I always use my silicone craft sheet to do most things. So that's just really helpful. So these are their cards. Now let's go to my alternatives. I'm back. So I have 7 alternative cards, and the 8th one we're actually going to make, because this card has like this chevron pattern to it. Like here's one of their cards. It has this chevron stuff, and I did a chevron card at the end. So the 8th one we're going to make because it's a technique. So if you look on the back of your instructions for Paper Pumpkin, I was telling you earlier that all the colors are there. So the only things I added was the colors in both the paper and the ink. So you got Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Old Olive, and Pale Papaya in papers and inks. And then I did use my rectangle stitched frames, and I think that's the only thing extra I used. So let's start with the first alternative here. And look what I did. I'm a big girl. I layered for once. My brain doesn't think to layering. I don't know why. I really have to. If you Google like card sketches, it'll show layouts, and it'll kind of train your brain to do this layering thing. And this is what's great about Paper Pumpkin, is it gets you out of your ruts. So this is my rut, is this layering thing. So look, I was a big girl and I did some layering. And what I did is I took their Paper Pumpkin base, and then I took my rectangle stitched frames, and the largest one and the second largest one you tape together in the die cutting machine, and you make this frame. And this is out of Bumblebee. Now this piece, this blue piece that's going across, that's this white piece here that I took the blending brushes and I colored it in Misty Moonlight. And then look, I layered. So I took their little piece here and this little shrub thing and the circle thing. I dimensional the thanks. And really the only thing I used that was extra was Night of Navy ink. And that's what I used on the inside. Of course, I used basic white, Bumblebee, and that's it. An Old Olive right here on the sentiment. And that's all I used for this card. And I put the little jewels here. So this is alternative number 1. Here's alternative number 2, and what I did is I took their background, but what I had to do, this is the card from theirs that they use. If you notice, it looks like this. Well, I wanted it like this, so I cut this piece off and turned it around and made it a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 and put it on a Misty Moonlight card base. And then I took the mountains, I snailed one down, I dimensioned one up, and I took that hello or the tag, and I put hello on it. I put the ribbon here, and this is on dimensionals. And with the little rhinestones. I made like a big dipper there. And then the inside is just pale papaya and basic white, and I stamped the little foliage here. So this is card number 2. Here's alternative number 3, and I went ahead and just used a basic white card base, 5.5 by 4.25. They're all 5.5 by 4.25. And by the way, all the dimensions and everything I've used for these cards are in the description of my video. So just pull it up. You can even click on any link for any of the inks or papers or anything I use, and you can pull it right up to my site. You could also pull up, I'm an Amazon affiliate. If you're interested in my Caterpillar glass here, that's there. So you can totally buy stuff from me. But anyway, alternative number 3, we got a basic white card base. The background is in Night of Navy, and that is cut 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then basic white is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I just stamped those flowers. Now, when you stamp the flowers, stamp out on copy paper. It has to be copy paper. Don't use our Stampin' Up! Good quality paper, because when you make a mask, it will put a shadow around it. So you want thin, cheap, stupid copy paper. And when you stamp to do, to get these things to stamp over, and when you're doing the leaves, you need a mask. So make 2 masks out of copy paper, and then use this teal Tombow, because it acts like masking tape, and it'll come right off. And if there's any glue, it'll just, come right off. This is awesome for masking. So I just stamped that up and used their kind of layering techniques. I dimensional the last one. Congratulations is a Night of Navy, and that it did Old Olive and basic white on the inside. So this is alternative number 3. Here's alternative number 4. The base is in pale papaya, and this background is from the envelopes, and I would show you that one, but I used both of them. So this is the envelope background here, and then I stamped the flower, and I stamped it in pale papaya, and Calypso Coral and Night of Navy. And then I took the leaf and I backed it on some of that green backed paper that looks like this is part of the envelope, and I backed the holes so they weren't, you don't see through them, because without it, it just kind of looked odd. And then I dimensional that up, and I snailed the leaves down. I took my rectangle stitched frames, the smallest one here, and I cut out the sentiment, put it up on dimensionals, and stamped this in Night of Navy. I put the jewels in here, and of course you've got your inside is Night of Navy and basic white. So here is alternative number 4. Here's alternative number 5, and this is their paper pumpkin background, and it was so pretty. It's like, I don't want to cut it. I could have cut out the mountains and elevated and all that, but I kind of wanted to leave it the way it was, because it's just very pretty. And that's why I didn't even put a sentiment tag for the sentiment, because it's just too pretty. But I did put the jewels here. But what I did is I cut this out, their pretty base, in the rectangle stitch frames, and then I took the largest one and the second largest one and made a frame out of the New Horizon DS paper. Now the New Horizon DS paper is not in the new 2022-2023 catalog. It's being discontinued. It's retired. So after May, you can't get this. So if you want this paper, get it now. In fact, once it retires, I still have one pack now. So, if you're watching this in the future and I still have it, just email me and I can sell it to you. But and then this green background is also New Horizon. So I used these 2 New Horizons. I made that rectangle stitched frame out of it, made this a rectangle stitch frame. It's just very pretty. You don't need to do a lot to it. And then of course New Horizon and the basic white in the rectangle stitched frame. So anyway, this is alternative number 5. Alternative number 6 looks similar to alternative number 5, but alternative number 5 looks like this. 6 looks like this, because I still didn't want to cut this image. It's too pretty. So I have all the dimensions in the description of my video, because there's a flap and I've got it tucked under. So go to the description of my video and pull this up if you want to make this card. So I did use the New Horizon. I used, of course, their paper pumpkin front, basic white. I trimmed it here so it all looks like it's together, because this little New Horizon piece on the flap isn't all the way through. I just cut it very thin. And then the rectangle stitch frames, I thought those were really pretty. Did some of the jewels, but this is number 6. Now here's alternative number 7, and this is the one we're gonna make in a different color, but basically the same thing. So what it is a Night of Navy card base, a bumblebee border here, and then this piece, the chevron piece here, is the envelope. And then these chevrons are this envelope, and then the inside like this. So, and then of course I used their tag, but I also had to adjust their tag because it was just a little bit too wide. So I just took off a little bit on each side so it lined up well. And of course I put the rhinestones. So now we're going to make the same technique card in a different color. So let's do that. So we're going to be doing this card, but in these colors. Now this color here is also part of New Horizon. I'm using it on the outside and on the inside. This card base is Old Olive, 5.5 by 4.25. The border is Pale Papaya, and that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And the New Horizon is 4 by 5 1/4. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this envelope and we're going to be making these little chevron thingies. And I wanted to show you the best way to undo an envelope because paper pumpkins, we like to use our envelope. And what I do is I take an X-Acto knife and I just go down the edge of the envelope here. And it seems to work the best. I was using like my little Cricut spatula thing, but that would just rip. And I just grabbed this because I couldn't find the spatula because, you know, your desk like totally eats everything. And I grabbed this and I went, oh, this is way, way, way better. So that was quick and easy with little destruction. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece and there is a formula to making these chevrons. And the formula is, first of all, you're going to square this off. So make this a square. Just use your cutter. And you're going to make 5 strips of paper. And it's going to be 1 inch by 2.5 inches. And you're going to make 5. So I'm going to make 5 of these. So I've got 2 examples here. These are both 1 inch by 2.5. Now, if you look at what makes the square, that is the print I want up. So anything that you want up, on this one, it's the leaf, and on this one, it's going to be the pink, okay? And out of these 5, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to make 3 where I take the upper left-hand corner and I fold it down to this corner. So I'm going to take my nail right on that tip of that corner and I'm going to fold it over on itself just like that. And then I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to go up. So I'm going to take my fingernail on that corner there so I can get it right there in the middle and I'm going to fold it up. So it's going to look like that. So I've made 3 of them that look just like that, okay? And then I'm going to make 2 going the opposite way. So instead of this, the left corner, top corner going down, I'm going to make the left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner go up. So I'm going to take that corner here and I'm going to go up. Okay, see the difference? So this corner is going down, this corner is going up, and then I'm going to take the right corner and I'm going to go down. So it's the opposite. So I'm going to take this and go down. Okay, see the difference? So this one, left is down, right is up, and this one, left is up, right is down. So 2 of these and 3 of these. And that's what I've done here. Okay, so it should look like that. Now before we layer, I'm going to take those little paper pumpkin little glue dots and I'm going to put them on the flaps because I don't like them flapping around. You can have them flapping around if you want, but I find them a little annoying. So I'm going to glue down all of those flaps. And these paper pumpkin dots are fantastic. I mean, once you're done with your paper pumpkin, keep these on your desk. They're great for keeping down large embellishments like those brass butterflies. These are great for that. And they're better than a dimensional because they're not thick. So I'm going to take my 2 there and my 3 there, and I'm going to put all these down. Now, separate them out by the 3 and the 2. We're going to take the 3 first. I'm going to snail it down, and I'm going to put it right in the corner of that top piece, just like that. Then I'm going to take one from the right side that we only have 2 of, and I'm going to connect it like this. Okay. Then I'm going to take one from the left side and go like this. And I'm going to take from the right side and I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to take the left side and go like this. Now you might have to adjust how you end up, but looks pretty darn close to me, so that's good. And then I'll take my dimensionals here. Now I had actually run out of the ones that came with the kit. So what I did is I just took the dimensions and I made one out of this paper because I ran out. So you can see the back here, I was doing the dimensions, and I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, and I'm going to bring it over here, put it there, and then I'm going to take some bling and I'm going to put it on each side like so. And isn't that pretty? This is the same technique and 2 different cards. So anyway, that is all of my alternatives, all 8. And if you like it, please like and subscribe. And I do give away demo cards. So put in the comments of my video that you want to win a demo card with your email address. I can't talk to you without an email address unless you happen to look at your replies all the time from YouTube. But I'll get your address and I'll send you out the card. So anyway, that'll do it for me. Thanks. Bye.